Good evening, good morning, good noon, good night. 'Tis I, your host, Masked Delight. So welcome back, or anew, to Metroid Fusion Randomizer. If you're not familiar with the randomizer, it is simply, instead of the linear pathway of sectors and items, all the main items and minor items are strewn across the station. And we have to go hunt them down, ultimately finding missiles, charge beam, plasma beam, and unlocking these level 4 doors. Then we can go beat the game. Our first objective is to get our first item, the S0 data room. There are 4 items it can be. We can get morph balls, which is our main progression we're looking for, or any form of missiles. If you're not familiar with this game, those missiles are regular missiles. They are regular missiles, there's not much to say about them. Super missiles, they do twice the amount of damage as regular missiles. They're a really nice thing to start with, because the game doesn't expect you to have super missiles this early in the game. There's also ice missiles. They're like regular missiles, except they freeze enemies. And then there's the fusion missiles, the weakest missiles in the game. They have a diffusion effect where if you charge them up and fire them, they'll release this halo, this circle of ice that will freeze all enemies in range and destroy any missile blocks in range as well. The problem with diffusion missiles is they do less damage than standard missiles, so you need more missiles in order to destroy certain barricades and bosses. In this case, though, we got ice missiles, so we just have the ability to freeze enemies when we destroy them with missiles. Since ice missiles do standard missile damage, this barricade only takes 3 missiles. With super missiles, it would only take 2, and with diffusion missiles, it takes a total of 6 missiles to take that down. So our next objective is to basically loop around and go fight Arachnus. And find the morph ball, which we have, but there's no way actually out of this without going to fight Arachnus. There's more items to get down here anyway, so we might as well pick them up. Ice Beam. Just like ice missiles, now our beam can freeze enemies. That was pretty simple. Those eyeball doors can also have an invincibility phase when they open up, and they'll do a certain beam attack. Didn't do it this time. You'll probably see it in the next eyeball door. They precursor all bosses, with the exception being a special exception with the zombie in a certain state in Sector 2. It won't actually have an eyeball door before it. So this is Arachnus. He's the first boss of the game. He's pretty simple. Just jump over his sonic beam, hold on to the edge when he does the fire, and leap over him when he tries to ram into you. He is invincible while rolling, so try not to waste your missiles during that step. There we go. I'm out of missiles, but fortunately shooting in X core, which requires missiles to destroy, will release X, which are these parasites that you can absorb to regain energy and ammunition. Specifically, the yellow ones recover energy, the green ones recover ammunition. And this Megacore recovers abilities. In this case, it's just an E-Tank. Normally, it would be Morph Ball, but we already have Morph Ball. This is a randomizer. They're unlikely to be in the right spots. But we got an E-Tank. E-Tanks are nice, more health, more good. Allows us to tank damage better. It's pretty simple. The final boss does a lot of damage, so I'm going to be picking up all E-Tanks I run across. I'm pretty good, and I have beaten the final boss without taking damage in the past, but if you screw up, it's nice to have a bit of a buffer. So our next objective is to, well, grab this item first. It's the Varia suit. Now, we don't take damage from hot or cold rooms. Something we haven't run across yet, but we will soon. Maybe not so soon. We're going to Sector 1 first. Sector 1 is the first sector of the game. It doesn't have any fancy rooms or requirements. You just need the missiles to pretty much complete most of it. There's some extra goodies that you're supposed to come back for when you have other abilities. This is a randomizer, so maybe we won't have to come back for them later. Maybe we'll get the requisite abilities to grab them now. Only time will tell. So our objective of Sector 1 is to basically just make a loop of Sector 1 and get all the items we can get. As I said, Sector 1 is pretty simple. It only requires the missiles to destroy these barricades in order to clear the atmospheric stabilizers, because if you don't do that, you can't leave the room. In the vanilla game, your objective was to clear the 5 atmospheric stabilizers in this place. We're only going to clear 4, because one of them doesn't have an item behind it. So I got the fusion missiles. I explained them earlier. If you charge them up and fire at something, it will release a circle of ice, which freezes everything in the vicinity. It also destroys any missile blocks in the vicinity. This room has, 3 items. We can only get 1 in logic. The other 2 require different items. But we got regular missiles. Now our missiles do a little bit extra damage. Each time you get a missile upgrade, your missiles do more and more damage. It essentially stacks, I believe. So if you have, say for instance, ice missiles and regular missiles, since they both do regular missile damage, you ultimately do 2 times missile damage. We have regular missiles, ice missiles, and diffusion missiles, so I think we do roughly 2.5 times. We don't do quite 3, we don't do quite 2. It's hard to tell exactly how much damage we do. See, for instance, these atmospheric stabilizers now only take 1 shot. Because we have so much missile damage. Plasma beam. Plasma beam is, I guess you could call it the most powerful beam in the game. It shreds enemies. It, not only does it pass through enemies it hits, but it also does a ton of extra damage above the normal beam. We still can't hurt space pirates with the beam. We can freeze them in place, but we can't destroy them without using missiles. Unfortunately, using missiles freezes them in place, doesn't destroy them because we have ice missiles. One of the downsides of having ice missiles, but if we freeze them first, then the missiles just destroy them. And we can do that with the ice beam. I'm trying to conserve as many missiles as I can so that I can destroy an eyeball door that's coming up without having to grind for more missiles. I should have plenty. That's why I wasn't using my missiles primarily. I was freezing them before destroying them, so that I could save 1 extra missile each space pirate. This is the eyeball door I was expecting to fight. Beyond it is the charge beam core fight. Normally you get the charge beam from it, The charge beam is one of the items required to beat the game, but it's unlikely that we will actually be getting the charge beam right now. Oh, I've never seen that before. I've never seen that before. I've never seen it where it was just facing the wrong direction. And I've played this game a lot. So there's a few last items to get. There's something down here. Screw attack, the most powerful attack into the game. Somersault into enemies to vaporize them. I think I just tried to combine evaporate and vaporize, which is why I got you vaporized. It also works on these barricades. So now instead of using missiles, we can just somersault into them. Another nice thing about the screw attack is it makes you invincible while spinning. One downside of the screw attack is these caution platforms. I'll show in a moment. But they're screw attack blocks, which means that jumping into them with the screw attack destroys them. And we don't want to do that because that's our way to get up. An E-tank. This is an annoying climb sometimes, but I will still do it for an E-tank. As I said earlier, just more health, more good. There it is. Yeah, the final boss, the Omega Metroid, does 100 damage a hit. He's pretty easy to avoid. The true final boss is really the penultimate final boss, the SAX. Oh, well, see that. Now I can't get up, so I have to go reset the room. Essentially, that will happen if I'm ever spinning when I try to land on these blocks, so either I have to jump vertically in order to not initiate a spin, because if you jump horizontally, you always initiate a spin, or fire while in the air to cancel my spin. That's essentially how you deal with dealing with Sector 1 when you have the screw attack. But now we're done with Sector 1, so we're leaving and going someplace else. We are going to Sector 6, the only other sector available to us. There's some items we can get in Sector 6. We can't clear it out or even fight the boss, the Mega Core X, I believe it is called. But we can get a few items and then break into a different sector using a shortcut instead of the normal way in. See, the progression of this game is usually you go to Sector 1, then Sector 2. We have a Sector Shuffle on, which means Sector 2 is locked behind this blue door. And Sector 2 has the ability to unlock blue doors. So we have to make sure to find a way to get to Sector 2. Or Sector 5, where we can unlock yellow doors, which unlocks all... when you unlock a higher level security door, like yellow doors at level 3, it unlocks all lower level security doors, so it also unlocks level 2 and level 1. We still can't access Sector 5 that easily, though. So we're just going to come in here, we're going to get a few items. That's an E-tank, I will be taking that. We can't actually access it from here, though. We have to go a little bit further in. Normally those would take super missiles to destroy. Oh, we're gonna have to be back for this. We don't have bombs. So we have to be back for the main elevator once we have the speed booster, and we have to be back for this item in Sector 6 when we have the bombs. Bombs or power bombs will also work. Since we have the Varia, so these blue X's don't hurt us. without the Varia suit, they're super cold, and since we have Metroid DNA in us, and Metroids don't like the cold, we don't like the cold. However, the Varia suit protects us against... Oh, I forgot you also need bombs for this, too. But we have the Varia suit that protects us from the cold and the heat. I'm going to check an item in 5. How am I going to get to 5, you may ask? Well, it's pretty simple. There's actually a shortcut to 5 right over here. Unfortunately, this shortcut leads to behind a yellow security door. So we can't actually do anything other than pick up this one item, which is a missile tank. Missile tanks increase your missile capacity by 5 each time. The more missile capacity you have, the more missiles you can fire, without having to recharge your ammo. Alright, so there's 2 last items we can get in Sector 6. They're going to have to be something, because I can't think of where else to go without bombs or power bombs. Ordinarily, you'd come through this little block above me. It's a crumble block. It's a one-way, but there's also this screw attack corridor that allows you to go through Sector 6 backwards. If and only if you have the screw attack. That allows us to go over here and check this E-tank. And a second item, which is going to have to be something. Yep. Probably some form of bombs. Yep, power bombs. Power bombs are a more powerful version of bombs. They pretty much take up the entire screen instead of destroying a small radius around them. They do a lot of damage. They can destroy power bomb blocks as well as regular bomb blocks. But they are limited by capacity just as missiles are. Now that we have bombs, we can grab one last item in 6. The item we saw earlier. Which is going to have to be... the space jump? No. It doesn't have to be the space jump, because there are 3 other items we can check that could be the space jump. But I predict the space jump is our next item that we need. The reason why is because we can't reach any other sectors right now, even through the tubes. Sector 5 is blocked off on this side, and on the other side is Sector 1. In Sector 1, you need to unlock the blue security door in order to get through the proper tube that we're looking for, just to enter it. So we can't get to any other sectors, so the only way we can get to a sector is actually through the reactor silo, which leads to Sector 2. Alright, jump ball. Okay. That unlocks one extra item in the main area we can grab. So now we'll retreat to the main area to get a total of 4 to 5 items. There's 3 items in the reactor silo, 2 items on the main deck. We're going to check the 2 items on the main deck first, and then go to the reactor silo. The reason I say 3 to 5, 4 to 5 rather, 4 to 5 items, is because the 5th item is held by Yakuza, and I'm really bad at fighting Yakuza. In fact, without the charge beam and this few missiles, I don't even think it's possible to defeat him. So hopefully we find progression before then, so we don't have to find out if we can beat Yakuza with so little ammunition. If I had the charge beam, at least I would have a infinite use way of damaging bosses. But all I have right now that can damage bosses are missiles and power bombs, both of which are limited by capacity. Speed booster, okay. We'll check this one item over here, then we'll go to the, not the reactor silo, the main deck above the main elevator, in order to get the item we saw that was an item. We can now get it because we have the speed booster. The speed booster allows you to run super fast after running for a short distance of time. You're also invincible and do a ton of damage to enemies you pass through. It also allows you to destroy these speed booster blocks by running through them. My prediction is this is the space jump. I'm still adamant about the space jump being the next progression item we need. But it's not guaranteed to be this. It was this. Alright, we now have the space jump. We can now go to Sector 2 by way of the reactor silo. This will allow us to unlock level 1 security doors and get a bunch of items in Sector 2. The space jump allows you to jump continually in the air. It's the best way of getting height and also lets you float over certain gaps. Notably, like a gap in Sector 1. There's a lava pool in Sector 1 where I said there was 3 items. We could only get one of them. Well, now we can get another item from that location. But first, there's 2 items in Reactor Silo. And then we're going to not fight Yakuza because we don't have to. And as I said, I don't even know if I can beat him with this few missiles. Wave Beam. Oh boy. The wave beam, the beam now penetrates through walls, but it also makes your beam all squiggly. It's a lot more pronounced when you don't have the ice beam. It just makes it really hard to hit blocks. Ooh, that's an item too. Reactor Silo is loaded. Wide beam, excellent. Now our beam widens dramatically. This also fixes the problem with the wave beam, where now it makes the beam symmetric, so now it's actually kind of a lot easier to hit enemies and blocks with. Okay, our next objective is to just get out of the reactor silos, do a quick safety save, because I don't want to lose my progress. And then go to Sector 2. Sector 2 is a little bit scary. We do have a lot of health. But these key hunters, these enemies right here, do a ton of damage. Fortunately, we can destroy them pretty easily with the screw attack. But if they hit us, they'll take a decent chunk of energy off. So normally this entrance to Sector 2 is like a second revisit. Ooh. I'm running low on bombs. I should... no, I won't be fine. I need to grind an eyeball door. I should be fine. We'll probably fight the zombie before we... This is why I made a safety save. This is going to be annoying. I believe we only need 2 bombs if we're careful about this. See, this is the downside of just having power bombs. And the only way to recover power bombs is with red X's. And red X's are pretty rare. They're only dropped by certain enemies with any frequency. Right, now we'll have one bomb left over. Because we didn't use it to enter this place. So now we can destroy this wall up here. But we are completely out of bombs. This is a bit of an annoying spot to be in. Fortunately, eyeball doors are guaranteed to drop red X's. And we have one. Ooh. Will we actually have an eyeball door before Zazabi? As I mentioned earlier, Zazabi is one of the few bosses that might not have an eyeball door before it. The reason for this is, I guess it gets despawned in this state when all the key hunters are out. And we're in the state where all the key hunters are out. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to grab an item up here. I'm going to save real quick. There's a boss I could fight. I'm not going to fight the boss. I'm just going to grab the red axe for it. For the eyeball door. Because I really need more power bombs. More missiles, I'll take those. I don't have that many missile capacity right now. Now we can hold 25 missiles at once. We're not going to be using missiles against regular enemies, but we still have to use them against bosses. There's no point in using missiles against regular enemies when we have such a powerful beam. So just up here, this would be the eyeball door that leads to Notori. I don't think we have enough ammunition to defeat Notori right now, though. So what we're just going to do is grab the red X, recover all of our power bombs, and not go in the door. Instead, we're going to continue on and clear up Sector 2. The first objective is down to grab an item that we would normally grab going up and around, but we're going backwards through this section. You can only do this if you have the high jump or space jump, because otherwise you can't jump up here. So it's just in this room. Just down here. They were just missiles. Oh well. Now, fortunately, the screw attack can destroy bomb blocks if you can somehow activate the screw attack next to a bomb block. It's not always possible because sometimes they're in tight quarters you need to be in the morph ball for. But if you can, the screw attack destroys bomb blocks, which is very useful for saving a power bomb in that exact situation. Oh, I shouldn't have used the power bomb. Oh, I got a red X from an enemy. That's pretty rare, but also very nice. I wonder what this is. I hope it's the gravity suit. That would be fun. Ha! Look at that! Alright, the reason I hoped it was the gravity suit is because now we can actually go unlock level 4 security doors. All you need is the gravity suit and the speed booster. You need somehow to actually get out of Sector 4 once you've done so. You can do that with either the screw attack to exit through the tubes, or the diffusion missiles to exit the normal way. We're going to all figure out which direction we're going when we actually reach that point. But right now, we still need the charge beam to actually beat the game. So we're going to go fight Zazabi. and see if he has the charge beam. Power bomb tank. I will take that considering we need a lot of power bombs. This is sector 2. This is the bomb sector. This is a sector where you normally get bombs through the sector 2 data room. And you use them throughout the entire sector to get around. And the nice thing about bombs is they're limitless in capacity. Power bombs are not. Also, another thing about note, if you get swallowed by Zazabi without regular bombs, you can't escape. So be very careful. So we're just doing the requisite 10 missiles to kill Zazabi. So watch while he jumps around and gets ready to attack. There we go. 4 more shots to go. I've never seen him jump straight up like that before. Ooh. There we go. Now just the core will probably take 2 shots, so it looks like it might take 3. Nope, just 2. And that was a missile tank. But there are still 2 other items to get. The Zazabi Speedway. It's right above the Zazabi. Here, you need the space jump and screw attack to get to it, as well as the speed booster to actually get the items inside. Oop, that is an item. So we do this nice little shine spark. A shine spark is a hidden technique you can do with the speed booster. Alright, that's enough. Charge beam! Oh wow! We can go beat the game. I don't believe this. We're in go mode. We have all the items we need to beat the game. All we have to do is go into Sector 5, unlock level 3 security doors, so that we can change the state of Sector 5 to when Nightmares trashed it, so we can go and unlock level 4 security doors. And then we can go beat SAX and win the game. So our next objective is to get to Sector 5 by escaping Sector 2. I'm in go mode, so I'm not going to be checking any extra items. I don't need anything else to beat the game. Oh, I'm sorry, there's actually one extra thing we need to do. In order to get to Sector 5, we need to unlock level 1 security doors. Which is right up here. I'll just exit Sector 2 the normal way. I could go to Sector 1, and it might be faster to go to Sector 1 to get to the main deck with all the sector elevators, but this is pretty fast too. Sector 5. Sector 5 is usually the last sector you go to in the game. It's also the last sector you'd visit in the game in general, I believe. Typically you come through here earlier on to unlock level 3 security doors and get power bombs. And then later you come back here at a later point after Nightmare's trashed the place to go basically fight Nightmare, get the gravity suit, unlock level 4 security doors, continue on into Ridley's lair. After fighting security robot in Sector 6. Oh, no, never mind. You do a revisit of Sector 6 after the revisit of Sector 5. So we have to get beyond this door. It's a level 4 security door, though. It's locked. It's still the only way to actually go to get to the level 4 security room. So our solution is to change the state of Sector 5 to the state where Nightmare's trashed it. And once Nightmare's trashed this place, that will actually destroy that level 4 security door so we can pass through unimpeded. But in order to actually change the state, we need to unlock level 3 security doors. Only the screw attack can destroy those pillars. So since we have it, we can go this way. If not, we'd have to go down and around. I believe that pillar spawns in if you have power bombs. Okay, level 3 security hatches are now unlocked, which also unlocks level 2 security hatches, even though we didn't go to the level 2 security room. That would be in Sector 3. We're not even going to see Sector 3 this run. Nor will we see, we will see Sector 4. We'll see the back half of Sector 4. So now we've gotten all the requirements to change the state of Sector 5. Now we have to actually change the state of Sector 5, which requires going back to the elevator room. We don't have to actually go up the elevator, but we do have to go back to the elevator room. That explosion signifies that Sector 5 has now entered its alternate state. I'm not going to say, but I am going to recharge my power bombs. You see, this door is now destroyed. We can now go through here. This would normally lead to Nightmare. Nightmare is the boss that has the gravity suit. You normally need the gravity suit to escape this area, the gravity suit and the speed booster. We already have both items. So we're just going to be running straight through. We're not even going to see Nightmare. Which is fortunate, because I think he's another boss. I'm not... You actually... No, I have the charge room. What am I talking about? I could beat Nightmare if I really wanted to, but I don't want to. For now, we're just going through the back half of Sector 4 and unlocking level 4 security doors. And here we are, the level 4 security room. Now that level 4 security doors unlocked, all objectives that prevented us from beating the game have now been completed. So now we just have to make our way back up to Sector 0, where we got our first item, because that's where the SAX boss fight is. It's a little bit of a run. Yeah, this was a quick seed. I'm very curious to see how long it took me to do. But it felt very quick. These balloons, you can either freeze them when they're in their deflated state, or you can just screw attack them. That's how you get past them. I went the slow way. Oh well. There was a faster way I could have went to get out of here. I'm not used to it. It's not in my muscle memory. So that's probably the reason why I didn't go that way. This just takes a little bit longer. Not too much longer, but it does require you to use diffusion missiles as well. This is Sector 4. This is the main part of Sector 4. We're not going to be seeing the majority of it, but it's here. Hey, back up to the main sector. Oh, wait a second. No, we have level 4 security doors unlocked, so of course we have level 3 and 2 security doors unlocked as well. So yeah, we didn't even see Sector 3 at all. Sector 3 is normally the fourth sector you go to. The item required to pretty much do it is the Varia suit. Actually, no, not the Varia suit. The Varia suit's required for a revisit. It's the speed booster. You acquire the speed booster in order to get into Sector 2. And in order to get to Sector 3 to do anything. That's because the speed booster is required to actually unlock the level 2 security doors, which is required to do pretty much anything in Sector 3. This is the last save point in the game, so of course I will be taking it. The final boss, if you know what you're doing, isn't too difficult, but it's certainly not free. If you mess up the loop, then SAX can do a ton of damage to you. Now we have to go up higher. There we go. So essentially charge up a beam while she jumps, fire a beam while she lands. This will knock her back a bit and give you enough time to charge up a new, and causes a jump, which gives you enough time to charge up a new beam before she lands again. And rinse repeat until done. Yeah, see, look how much damage I just took. But phase 1 is done. Now on to phase 2. Phase 2 is a joke. This is, I guess, the true form of the SAX. It just jumps around. It's not even as threatening as the zombie. I'm honestly more afraid of the zombie than I am of the second form of the SAX. I'm more afraid of Arachnus in the second form of the SAX. And he's the first boss of the game, who I've never ever died to. So we're just dealing with his eyeball cores. I think it's the only one we actually ran into. No, we got the charge beam eyeball core, but this takes a lot more missiles. There it goes. But yeah, just fire missile, then jump, fire missile, then jump. You have to hit the eyeball, the core while it's facing you, and charging up a beam. That's the only time it's vulnerable, but when you hit it, it fires a beam, so you have to make sure to jump over that beam. So fire and jump, that's my suggestion to you. Alright, now we basically set the planet, the space station, to self-destruct and crash into the planet below, destroying everything. Our objective is to destroy all the X's so that they can't spread out across the galaxy, devouring everything. So this is our last objective, run to the ship. Ah, I missed that. If you're fast enough, you can preserve a shine spark in through this corridor. I like to try each time. It requires the screw attack, because otherwise those caution platforms get in the way. Here's the Omega Metroid, the final boss of the game. And here is a 20-second cutscene. Okay. Now we can get our orange suit and destroy the Omega Metroid. If you charge up, run in, fire, run away, it'll pretty much never hit you. If he does hit you, just tap up a bunch of times to stand back up. This is a pretty simple boss fight. This is why I say that the penultimate boss fight, the SAX, is really the true boss fight of this game. The true final boss, I should say. But that was Metroid Fusion Randomizer. Stay tuned after the credits for the in-game time reveal and also the location for all of where the items were. Okay, let's see here. Ice beam, missile data. Super missile data were in Sector 2, the hub morph tunnel. We didn't get those. Bombs were in Ridley area, Golden Pirate. We most certainly didn't get that. So that felt like a pretty fast run. Let's see what we got. Clear time? 44 minutes. That's the fastest I've ever done a run. Our rate for collecting items is 28%. Well, thank you so much for watching, especially until the end, and I hope you have enjoyed. I also hope I will see you next mission.